What is going on? Welcome to another episode of Nintendo Powercast Players Pulse Mario Monday. And today we are going to be reviewing Mario Kart World. And I'm super excited to jump into this one. And I'm glad I took some time on this game to review it, honestly. Like, my feelings about this game changed multiple times throughout the last few weeks. So I'm super stoked to chat with you guys, to do this as like a community review almost, where you guys get to share your thoughts on the game as well. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And so I'm going to just jump into it here. And basically what I've done is I've created a list of questions, a bunch of questions to kind of break down the review. So first question was, what's the first thing that hit you when you booted up the game? And for me, I think it was just the size, like hearing the music, knowing that I was going to get to race in my pipe frame while having, seeing Mario in the Famicom outfit that I liked from Super Mario Odyssey. And really just the size of the game. Like it's so big. It's so big. There's a ton to do. And so that was my initial thoughts. As soon as I booted up, was just like the best way I can describe it, if you've ever considered getting into competitive Smash and you start to peel back the layers of what that involves, you go, this is going to take a long time. And when I looked at Mario Kart World for the first time, I'm like, this is going to take a long time. The next question is, how does this game feel compared to previous Mario Kart games? And if you guys are in here live, feel free to answer some of these questions too. I'll pick them up as we're going. This game to me feels a lot more like the very first Mario Kart in the way that you jump and turn. Obviously, the drifting is a lot better. But then things change. Like, to me, this game has never felt much like a like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It hasn't. And so because of that, like, I was a little bit put off at first. Because I'm like, wait, I expected to jump into this, be like above average and have a good time with it. And that wasn't happening immediately. So I see Army Life saying, did you get a Switch too? I did. Ty says best Mario Kart hands down. Joey Pitts says my review is a 9.5 out of 10, has everything I ever wanted, but loses 0.4 for no Diddy and 0.1 for no song selection radio. Fair. Joey says this game feels more like a Mario Party game to me than a sweaty game, but can be both. Yes. See, Sunshine just jumped in. Hello. Army Life says, do you like the Switch 2? I love it. Fantastic. Highly recommend. We're going to do a Switch 2 review on one of these nights very soon as well. Next question was, did it meet or exceed or fall short of your hype expectations? This is going to be a very honest review, okay? Like, at first, I didn't love Mario Kart World at first because of, like I said, I was like, I can't just jump in. Like, this game feels different. It feels maybe more difficult. And I was like, but I didn't know. I don't know if difficult was the right term, but I was like, is it sloppy? Is it not as polished as I had thought it was going to be, like, as I had anticipated? And then I started getting into the tech. And that's when this game went from not as good as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is my favorite game in the Mario Kart series, to this game being the best game in Mario Kart. Is it perfect? No, it's not. It's not perfect. So, but it's really close. And I have a feeling if they pay attention to the community, they're going to be able to fix those things. So what's new or fresh about the gameplay? Well, open world, which you guys might have a hard time believing. That's where I've spent the majority of my time. I have only completed with 3 stars 2 Grand Prix. Only 2. Because the way I've been gaming as of recent, here's what's funny. I'm like, okay, I don't have a lot of time to game. I'll just do some open world. I probably end up spending enough time in the open world that I could have done a Grand Prix. Open world is honestly, again, being completely honest, not only incredibly fun, and I'm really enjoying just going and finding things, but it is one of the best ways to do a tutorial in my mind. It teaches you how to grind rails, do the wall riding, how to start, incorporating some of this tech. It also has some really cool Easter eggs. For instance, the P-switch on Boo Cinema takes you to Ghost Valley 1 from the very first game. And so anytime you see, I shouldn't say anytime, but pay attention when you do a P-switch that says amateur race, because what that can be is a classic track from Super Mario Kart. I've seen a handful of them now. And the music changes, and it is such a, it just feels like a bit of a love letter to Mario Kart fans, honestly, especially longtime Mario Kart fans. And I love that. Love it. How does the driving feel? It's tight, polished. You've got to get used to it. You've got to get used to the way tricking, like the trick boosts work, from running from the gliders to the water to the wheels. They're all very different. I have a video coming out very soon showing the line that I've been practicing for Mario Brothers Circuit. Okay. And one of the things that you will notice in this video is that I go off a ramp, the gliders come out, and I'm heading for a grind rail. I overshoot the rail too far to the left. I immediately trick to the right. It puts me on the rail and allows me to keep going. And so, you have to pay attention with the direction of your trick boost. It used to be, and this is one of those things from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I used to trick boost, and you could use them slightly. You could use them slightly, but they wouldn't dictate as much as they do in this game. You can seriously change direction with your trick boost depending on which direction you do it, and it's amazing. Okay, Joey says driving feels free except the jump seems a little too long till it jumps, so you need to know when to jump ahead of time. Yeah, as far as the charging your jump, you're almost better off unless it's very specific for a track, trying to find some kind of ramp that will take you up to the wall or things like that. Sunshine says, so when I heard about the open world concept and missions, I was like, not for me. What happened is getting friends together to find peach coins and laugh in VC. It's so much fun. I love that. Yeah, my initial thought of open world was like, oh, it's a little bit empty. There's no story here. It's doing exactly what it set out to do. It's not meant to be the main focus of the game. Knockout Tour, Grand Prix, that is your single player experience. The open world is kind of a collect-a-thon. See this beautiful space that we've created. And there's elements to this game that all kind of come together. And so we can kind of talk about this now, actually. So And Sunshine says the water stretches are my nemesis. Still figuring that all out. Yeah, and it'll come. You'll get there. I have no doubt. It's just this game is easy to learn, tough to master. And that's what I love. Sunshine says Knockout Tour is by far the best part of Mario Kart World. So if you skip any other parts of this review, I feel like this is the part that I want to make sure that you hear. If you're watching this after the fact or listening after the fact, Mario Kart World is not a perfect game, right? I'm not giving it a 10. It is not a 10 out of 10 for me. There are a couple design choices that I think should be different. That being said, I applaud them for the way they have been able to add open world and to add Knockout Tour while still keeping the Grand Prix. Like, this is one of those things when they sat down to look at the scope of this game, they were probably like, yo, we're biting off a lot here. Like, this is a lot, right? We've never done anything like this. Because of Knockout Tour and open world, the Grand Prix has suffered. And I think everybody would agree to this, okay? And my solution that I really hope they implement via an update is either make the Grand Prix in between, like where you race between tracks, make it 5 laps. That gives us 2 laps to get to the track and 3 laps on the track. So maybe call it Grand Prix like long play, something like that, as one option, so that we still, because I personally still want to be able to learn the track in between the main racetracks, because I still think that's still important when it comes to, even though it's a lot of straightaways, I still want to know which straightaways am I on? What can I grind? What can I jump off the side of a truck and do a little bit of wall riding? Like, what's happening here? Now, I'm sure the trucks might be a little bit, random. I get that. But if there's rails to grind, even some shortcuts, right? There's still some shortcuts there that, like, you could use a mushroom to get through. I mean, I've used some of them. I'm like, okay, the road is, you got some cornering going on, so I want to go straight. Okay, I want to go straight. So they either do an update that allows, the races between. Just, I don't think anybody would mind doing 2 laps. In chat, you guys can let me know. But, and I say laps, but like, you guys understand, it's kind of like Rainbow Road. Like Rainbow Road and a couple other tracks, you just continually do checkpoints, 2 checkpoints, and then 3 laps around the track, and we're good to go. That's what I would prefer in Grand Prix. The other option is just do another variation of Grand Prix that you just do the 3 laps, and you don't drive between tracks. What I love the most about this game is the way they have set it up. Is they have literally set it up so that changes are going to be easy, and I think there's plenty more to come. Right? One of the things that I think some reviewers would probably dock this game for is like, well, we're missing modes that were in the last Mario Kart game. Okay? So let's break that down real quick. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe had the Grand Prix with 48 tracks. So there's more tracks in Grand Prix. I'm sorry, there's more tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. There's battle mode, which was had like 6 stages, maybe, I believe. I think some were added. Maybe, but I think 6 just off the top of my head. Okay. And then time trials. On top of that, you had the ability to go online in battle or racing. And then you could do tournaments friend lobbies. And then eventually they added like custom items where you could change the items to how you wanted them to be, all that kind of stuff, right? So that's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Grand Prix, time trials, multiplayer, battle mode. 4 modes. Mario Kart World comes out with Grand Prix, Knockout Tour, Open World, online multiplayer with all those modes, whether with friends or without. And so technically, it came out with more modes than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. At the end of the day, we are missing like the ability to do tournaments and things like that. Now, I do believe that this was completely intentional, because if they dropped the entire package at one time, stuff's going to get skipped over. It's just the way it is. They've left themselves plenty of room for people to spend time in open world, collect the items, do the P switches, get the Peach medallions, hit the question mark blocks, lose yourself in Knockout Tour for a while, do your Grand Prix, and then jump into a slimmed down version of multiplayer for the time being. And then they can drip feed content. I think the way they did it is honestly brilliant. I know there are plenty of people that will say, I want the full game right when it comes out. And I get that. But when you're talking about a game that's this big and this vast, like, parts wouldn't get played. If they wait a month or two before they start adding more things in, a lot of us are going to be at that point where it's like, hey, open world's done. Grand Prix are done. I've unlocked mirror mode. I've finished all my Grand Prix. I've got all my stars. What's next? And I think a drip feed of content for this game is going to be the way to do it. And I will say this, I don't want to sit on the price for a while, but I do think that the bundle price is an absolute steal. And even $80 for this game feels completely justified. For me, you've got to keep in mind that I play Mario Kart a little bit different. I can sit on one section of track for an hour trying to get the tech down and get this line perfect, and I'm having so much fun. Right? So I'm not necessarily the norm. I love that kind of stuff within this game, and it scratches that itch better than any other Mario Kart has before. And everything feels very doable for me, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like I can be competitive. I just got to put some time in to get the lines down and get all these tricks down. So Brian says, let's be honest, a lot of the modes equal trash, right? Joey says Grand Prix, a classic Grand Prix, and Grand New Prix. There you go. Shout out to Riven Bell for getting us in the right directory on Twitch. Appreciate it. Sunshine says they better bring in Knockout Online to join friends in races. There you go. There's and this is something I haven't tested. So are you not able to join on friends when they are in those online modes? That's something I've wondered, if you could join like in Mario Kart 8. But one of the big complaints that I have seen is people are like, yo, just let me make a group and then let us go online to play with randoms. And the easy solution here, because I know what the problem is, they don't want people farming the is it VC or VR? You're like, I can't remember it's VR or VC. I can't remember which, but I think they don't want people farming that, you know, so everybody gets into a lobby and then but all they need to do is make the custom matches either A, searchable, or B, just put us into unranked, if you will. That's all you have to do. Just put us in unranked, and that would allow for for us to take groups of people, because I don't think everybody's always wanting to just try to earn the points or whatever. Like sometimes we just want to play with friends. And I know when it comes to other multiplayer games, like take like Halo or something like that, like I will go into the non-ranked more often than the ranked just so that I can play with people of all skill levels. Maybe they're not that good, but we just want to hang out. Of course, we jump into unranked. We win, we lose, who cares? We're just playing together and it's easy to do. And I think where people are frustrated is that, like, if I only have 3 friends or 2 friends that want to play, we have to play with bots. And that's not quite as fun. So hopefully, even if you could set up an open lobby that people could search and or just join, that would be another way for them to get around that. And so again, a few things that like keep the score just from being at that perfect level. So I see Cryptic is here. What's going on? All right, let's move on to the visuals and audio. How do the graphics look on Switch 2? Is it a noticeable leap? 1000% yes. I think it's a huge leap. What I did not realize or thought I would ever really notice is my Switch 1 was always hooked up to something called the M Classic. So I was always running in 4K or 2K on my 2K monitors. When I went back and started running Switch games on my Switch 2 that didn't have any kind of a upgrade, they don't look as good. You can see the 1080p not looking as good as 4K or 2K or whatever the case may be. It's noticeable. And I'm not here to say, oh yeah, every game has to be 4K and blah blah blah, like, but it is nice. And this game running on like an OLED like TV is stunning. It is absolutely stunning. And even on the screen of the Switch 2, it is great. You've got HDR and all the bells and whistles. It looks really good. And I have not really seen, there's been a bit of lag, but I don't know that I've really seen any like drops in frames or anything like that. Like it's been running smooth. So I love the bouncy look of everything. I love all the different costumes. I know a lot of people don't like the menu for picking the costumes, but it's like you're not there that long and you can sort stuff if you're trying to find your favorite character. Maybe an easy solution is just add a favorites button or something to where like you can favorite a handful of your favorite costumes and that's what it moves to the far left. And then you never have to worry about it again. So I see Nady Nay is here too. What's going on, baby? I see you in both places. Sorry about that. Sunshine says the music is by far the best. It's so freaking good. It really is. There are times that I've just had the game playing in the background and it starts hitting like really mellow remixes of classic, like Mario swimming levels and just so many classic tunes that sound amazing. It's different, a much different soundtrack than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And I like it. It feels like it fits the tone of the game. That opening intro where you're kind of in the Mario Brothers circuit, like when you start the game fresh, like I don't know. It's kind of a bop, and I'm here for it. I don't know if I'm even allowed to say that, but due to my age, but it slaps, right? It slaps. Any tracks, characters, or moments where the visuals impressed you? I will just say I love the water. I mean, that's a gamer thing, right? Like we just love water, but I love the way the water feels. It takes me right to Wave Race, which was a game I played a lot of on the 64 and on GameCube. And I love it. As far as like, I've mentioned seeing Mario in his different costumes. That makes me like super, super happy. I love seeing that. Tracks. There's all of these tracks I'm finding are kind of fantastic because the design that goes into these things is not simple. It's not simple at all. Um, and I'm appreciating it more and more. I mean, if you guys are online seeing some of the different lines that are coming from this game, it's crazy. The feather changes everything. You can get some insane shortcuts with the feather. It's not just using the mushroom or the star for cutting through the off-road. You can jump the off-road if you want with the feather, and that's amazing. Like, just so great. So I'm blown away by so many of the tracks. I love we're seeing Wario Stadium on screen right now. DK Spaceport, DK Pass, like, and one of the things that I am having the most fun with, if you guys are following me on IG or on Twitter, I'm posting, or Facebook, I'm posting daily. I need to start posting them on my Snap as well. Daily photos from this game where I just take Mario to different locations and post him in different ways. I've never had more fun in a photo mode. I've never really used photo mode like I'm using it in this game. And I love it. I love it. It's giving me the ability to create content that just puts a smile on my face every day. So I love that. I want to get to some of the chats here. Cryptic says it definitely looks better, but I go back and forth on the art style. I kind of like the serious look of Mario Kart 8. Luigi mean mugging. I do like the expression of characters in here though, and I know it's more SNES inspired. And it's understandable, like completely understandable. That sleek design. I just finished the build for the Mario Kart Lego. And it's the cart from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I wish that cart was in this game. Would I use it? I don't really know, but I still just I wish it had come along. You know, I like the new standard cart. It's okay, but it's not like, it doesn't quite have that appeal that really was with that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe had. That being said, I'm in my pipe frame and I'm happy as can be. Like, as happy as can be. So Joey Pitt says costumes are nice. I just wish DK had more and the other NPC characters. I think how the cow could use a leather jacket costume. Okay, you were on my Twitter today. I was listening to Carpool Gaming, which I highly suggest you guys check out. They have something called the Nintendo Drive, and that's what I believe Seth from Carpool Gaming mentioned, that he wished the cow had a leather jacket. I'm like, bro, it's so dark. He's already eating burgers. Like, that's crazy. Joey Pitt says water looks great. Like Wave Race, LOL. Okay, Thunderstash Gaming, but I agree. Yeah, I can't help it. I can't help it. Looking at Nadine Nay says 200cc should come sooner or later. The track widths look like they'd be great for it. So I will say this. When I was trying to play the game like Mario Kart 8, I was all about 200cc. I'm glad they waited. I am honestly so glad they waited, because they knew what the community was going to do with this game and how we were going to find crazy lines to try to shave as much time off of these, like our time trials or in the Grand Prix as we could. And it's going to change with 200cc. I believe that they did, and I mentioned it earlier, that they've done everything correctly with this game with the amount of content that it has. Pending, I will say this, pending more content comes down the road. But I feel like the initial package is a fantastic start with more than enough, and they packaged it in a way that we will try everything before we like get stuck in one mode, or there's too many modes and we only do a handful of them. Like, I feel like everybody I've talked to is like, yo, I do some Grand Prix, I jump into Knockout Tour, and then I wind down by going into the free roam. Well, they succeed. Like, Nintendo succeeded. If that's kind of the way you're playing the game, you're kind of doing everything. And I think that's really good. Cryptic says, and the sound is definitely a sound of the year soundtrack. It's not just remix track music. We got remix sound for every character, specific game music here in Mario 64, Yoshi Story, Island, etc., all orchestrated. Yes, fantastic. Could not agree more. Even the sound effects When the shell hits you, it's the sound effect from Super Mario Brothers. It's those little details like that that I really, really enjoy. And the NPCs, they're very much alive in this. You'll see a little shy guy get into his car, drive, stop at a crosswalk, let a toad cross with his backpack on, keep going. Little traffic jams can form, I've noticed, depending on what you put in the way of the vehicles. If you wave at the drivers, honk your horn, they'll wave back at you. Like there's so many just fun little details in this game. Like different, I know some of the complaints are like, well, the world isn't really alive. I don't know. I like driving and then seeing like, yo, that enemy is from Super Mario Land. And these, seeing the sidestepper or just some random Goombas or charging Chuck, like they did a great job, including so many more just enemies or NPCs, however you want to look at it. And I appreciate that. I really, really do. Cryptic says, I think in 2 to 3 years, we will look back and see this become the Smash Bros. Ultimate game with classic modes, more battle modes, characters, etc., pending we get updates. And I think we will. I really do. Joey says we need a Discord channel just labeled Mario Kart World Pictures. Yes. I should probably post that. I should probably start featuring your guys' pictures. That would be fun. Brian says, yeah, good, great, sure. But can I race as Bayonetta? No, hard pass. Wow, we need Bayonetta DLC. It's a great idea. Joey says, yes, I followed a toad for 2 hours and he never went in a circle. He also went off the road and needs a breathalyzer. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. So, replayability, fun factor. What keeps you guys coming back? What is keeping you guys coming back? I know for me, I got Grand Prix to do. I got so many items to find. I'm at like 170 P switches, maybe a little over 100 on the Peach tokens, and like, or maybe it's in the 70s on the Peach tokens. I don't know. And probably around the same on the question marks. And so that end of itself, I'm having a great time with. Like, I keep coming back for that. I almost feel like I'm in a way like saving the Grand Prix a bit, like kind of savoring it. It may sound a little bit strange, but again, I've done Rainbow Road. I've got to experience pretty much the whole game, and couldn't be happier with it. Taking a look at chat here. Sunshine says, have you messed around with the camera feature yet? I might consider getting one just to mean mug people. I have yet to open my camera and try it. I do need to try the chat with the video chat. There's been a few times that I'm like, yo, I should just hit up the Discord and see who wants to jump into voice chat on the Switch and race. So if you're in the Discord, stay tuned, because that may end up happening sooner than later. Final thoughts on this one. Who do you think will enjoy this game the most? I think this is a great question. I think this game is going to have a very split, but also united community. You're going to have your time trials. You're going to have your tryhards. You're going to have your competitive players. This is also an incredible party game that anybody's going to have fun with. They can just jump in and play Mario Kart the way they're used to playing Mario Kart. The 3-year-old here, she's having a great time in open world, just going crazy, having a good time. Today she was like, she calls me Papawa. She's like, Papawa, look, I can make his head come off. And she made Dry Bones honk his horn, and he pops his head off, spins it, and she had rotated the camera so I could see it. She's having just a great time, like a great time, and I love seeing that stuff. It's literally for all ages, and that's one of the things Nintendo really has done such a great job with, like creating games that are for such a wide demographic. You can be 3 years old having a great time with this game, or you can, be in your 50s, 60s, whatever, 80s, and still having a good time with it. And there's multiple ways to play this. You could play nothing but Knockout Tour if that's what you had a good time with. And I think that's think that's all right. Couple questions here. Let's see. Nate says, honestly, I think the guys just want the girls from still. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I'm skipping that one. I thought it had to do with the with the game. Gaming Sense 80 says, Josh, how you doing? What keeps me coming back to Mario Kart World? The open world part. I finally tried the knockout part. I can't get enough of those two modes. Right, there you go. Like I said, Cryptic says, what keeps me coming back is the skill gap. It seems more and more competitive with the mechanics that take some time to master, and you get rewarded for learning it. I want to camp on this for a second. Not only do you get rewarded, this is where the speed of the game comes in. Okay? This is where the speed of this game comes in. When you start grinding, wall riding, trick boosting, you start chaining all this stuff together, you start realizing real quick, this game is fast. It's not so fast if you're just on the track, four wheels on the ground, fast enough, but they did a great job balancing this, keeping the speed at a level that allows you to utilize the tech and get us ready for 200cc when it does finally drop, because trying to do that tech in 200cc is going to be more difficult. There's no question you're moving a lot faster. Joey says, final question. Let's say if there's a Donkey Kong Bonanza content DLC for Mario Kart World, when would we see it or hear of it? It's a good question. Maybe it drops a week before. Maybe it's just a couple costumes and characters. You know, we got to get Funky Kong and Diddy Kong back. Handful of other racers from the Kong universe would be amazing. Cryptic says, every week there seems to be new strategies. This is absolutely true. It is. Go back and watch the day one time trials versus where they're at now, only 3 weeks later. You're seeing lines that nobody even thought of doing. Walls that people, didn't think about doing. Like the one if you saw my post where I'm trying to grind to a wall ride, bouncing off two trees, trying to angle myself so I don't hit the wall, and your drift and your boost will pull you through the off-road and give you the absolute best line. But this is not something you're pulling off when you first jump in. It's not. It's going to take time. Sunshine says, I think lounge players are on the fence with it. They seem to be bummed about bagging items, and I'm personally thrilled bagging is gone. The thing is, bagging is still there. It's just not as it's still there. It's not like as crazy as it was in 8. But at the same time, the very fact that Sunshine can say, I'm thrilled that it's gone, means Nintendo did a great job of balancing this so it doesn't seem like bagging is super viable. You can hang back and have some fun with some items, but it's not as guaranteed where you could like pull a shock and then pull a bill and, be at 10 coins and just get completely, get all the way around the track and it's game over. It's not the same anymore. So it is nice that it was essentially nerfed. It's still there. And there are people finding out like, yo, if I stay back on cheap track, I can't remember the full name, and you get your mushrooms, you get 6 mushrooms. If you hit the two cuts with mushrooms, you can knock 6 seconds off of your time. 6 seconds is significant, but you got to have the mushrooms for those shortcuts. We're seeing on screen right now the feather being used for a shortcut. Like it's another just fantastic item. And that's the thing. This game is going to be about memorizing those shortcuts. And I think the frustrating thing with driving between tracks is that we're not spending enough time on these tracks to learn the tech, learn the best line. So you got to hop into time trials. It also forces people into time trials, which is kind of cool. Because it's a mode that I love seeing people in. I love seeing anybody that's on my friends list. I can see how you guys have done, how we all compare. And I think that's great. I think it's great. So overall, guys, my score for Mario Kart World is a 9.5. It's not perfect. And it took me 3 weeks. Like I said, I'm glad I didn't do this review any earlier, I needed to spend ample time with this game. It's not perfect. There are a few changes I would like to see. But if they got no DLC for this game, if it was just this, 9.5, I'm still incredibly happy with it. It is my favorite Mario Kart. It has taken the place of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And again, hopefully there are some quality of life changes, some DLC down the road. I want to be able to do Kart Club and tournaments and that kind of stuff again, because that is a lot of fun, and we had a really good time doing that. So there are some things that would be great. We know there is a tournament coming, so some way Nintendo's got to be working that tournament. So hopefully that mode will drop, and maybe it'll have that DK DLC with it. And who knows, maybe 200cc at that point. We'll just have to wait and see. But overall, I think this game is a must own if you are a Switch 2 owner, whether for the party aspect or to sweat. I don't think you'll regret your purchase one bit. So I just want to let you guys know I appreciate you all hanging out. I want to remind you about our game of the week, which is Shinobi. I want to let you guys know there'll be no live shows next week because I'll be out of town. So there will be pre-recorded stuff, or maybe some stuff I record on the road, but no live shows next week. So just keep that in mind. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.